Hello everyone, welcome to the Bodhi Academy. In today's video, we are going to start with class 11 chapter 7, that is structural organization in animals. So in this we will learn about all the different tissues in animals. So in animal tissues, the tissues are divided into four types. So the first one that we have is epithelial tissue, then we have connective tissue, muscular tissue and neural tissue. So let us begin with the lecture. So in multicellular organisms, a group of similar cells along with intercellular species perform a specific function, and such a group of cells is called a tissue. Now let us see all the different types of animal tissue. So we have epithelial, connective, muscular and neural tissue. Epithelial tissue provides a lining or a covering to the structure or the body of the animals. Then connective tissue means, as you can guess from the name, this is the tissue that connects the various parts of the body. Then we have the muscular or the muscle tissue, and the last one is neural tissue, which will send reflexes and signals from one part of the body to the other. So the first one is epithelial tissue. This tissue provides covering or lining for some part of the body. The cells are compactly packed without intercellular spaces. So the cells in epithelial tissue are very compactly or tightly packed, and there are no intercellular spaces. So under epithelial tissue, we again have two types, that is simple epithelium and compound epithelium. So in simple epithelium, there are three types of tissues: squamous tissue, cuboidal tissue and columnar tissue. So simple epithelium is composed of single layer of cells and functions as a lining of body cavities, ducts and tubes. So it basically provides the lining or covering to the body cavities, ducts and the tubes. Then the compound epithelium, which is there, it consists of two or more layers of cells and has protective function. So the function of compound epithelium tissue is protecting. Then the squamous epithelium is made up of a single layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries, and they are present in the lining of blood vessels, air sacs of lungs. So the squamous tissue, which is present in the blood vessel, the lining of blood vessels and of the air sacs of the lungs, is made up of a layer of flattened cells and it has irregular boundaries. Then the next type is the cuboidal epithelium, which is made up of a single layer of cube-like cells which are found in the ducts of glands and tubular part of nephron and kidney. Now the function of this cuboidal type of epithelium is absorption and secretion. Then the third type, that is columnar epitheliums, are made up of tall and slender cells. The nuclei are located at the base and free surface may have microvilli found. These are found in lining of the stomach and intestine. So the columnar epithelium which are there, they may have microvilli or hair-like structures on the surface, and these type of cells are tall and slender and are found in the lining of stomach and intestine. The ciliated ones are called as ciliated epithelium. Okay, so those ones which have cilia or microvilli, they are called as ciliated epithelium. Then columnar and cuboidal epithelium, specialized for secretion, are known as glandular epithelium, which may be unicellular as in goblet cells of alimentary canal or multicellular as in salivary glands. So both the columnar and cuboidal epithelium which are there, they are specialized for secretion. Okay, so they secrete some enzymes or glands, and that is why they are also called as glandular epithelium. So here we have two types of glands, that is endocrine glands and exocrine glands. So the endocrine glands secretes enzymes, milk, mucus and saliva. Then the products are released through the ducts. In exocrine glands, the exocrine glands release the hormones and the products are directly released at the target sites to the blood. Then the main function of compound epithelium is to provide the protection against chemical and mechanical stress, and they cover the dry surface of skin, moist surface of buccal cavity. So these compound epithelium are found on the dry surface of the skin and also on the moist surface of buccal cavity, that is the mouth. Then epithelial cells are held together by intracellular material to form specialized junctions, and those are called the epithelial junctions. Now we have three such junctions, that is tight junctions, then adhering junctions and gap junctions. Now the next kind of tissue is the connective tissue. So this is all about the epithelial tissue. Then the next one is connective tissue. So they are most abundant and widely distributed tissues which link and support the other tissues. So these connective tissues will connect or link together and support all the other tissues. So all connective tissues except blood secretes fibers of structural protein called the collagen or elastin to provide elasticity and flexibility. So let us see the types of connective tissues. First one we have is loose connective tissue. It contains cells and fibers arranged loosely in a semi-fluid ground substance, and it includes areolar, ground tissue and adipose tissue. So first let us see in how many groups or categories the connective tissues are divided. So under connective tissues, first one that we have is loose connective tissues, then second one we have is dense connective tissues, and third is specialized connective tissues. So in loose connective tissues, as I said, it contains two types, that is areolar and adipose connective tissues. So let us see the first one, areolar connective tissues. It contains fibroblasts, macrophages and mast cells, and it acts as support framework for epithelium. So this areolar connective tissue acts as a support framework for the epithelium, that is the cover layer. Then adipose connective tissue, fibroblast, macrophage and mast cells are absent in this, and the cells are specialized to store food fats beneath the skin. So this adipose tissue is basically the fat storing tissue. Then the second type of connective tissue is dense connective tissue. So in this we have, it contains fibers and fibroblasts compactly packed, and the orientation of fibers may be regular or irregular. Then in dense regular connective tissue, collagen fibers are present in rows between parallel bundles of fibers as in tendons and ligaments. So in this we have again two types, that is first one is tendon and then ligament. So the tendon connects bone to skeletal muscles. So the tendon tissue which is there, it will connect the bones, okay, the bones to the skeletal muscles, to the muscle cells, and it is made up of wide fibrous tough tissue. Then the second one is ligament. So the ligament will connect a bone to another bone, and it is made up of yellow elastic tissue with collagen fibers. Then we also have cartilage, bones and bloods are specialized connective tissue. So the third type we have is specialized connective tissue, and it is made up of cartilage, bones and blood. Let us see. So here we have cartilage and bone. So the cartilage tissue are soft skeletal tissue, whereas bones are hard skeletal tissue. Then chondrocytes are enclosed in small cavities with matrix, and these bones are rich in calcium, salt and collagen fibers. Then the cartilage are present in tips of nose, so this part, and they are also present in the ear. See, they are the soft skeletal tissue, and they are also found between the vertebral bones, whereas bones form the entire skeleton. Okay, the skeletal framework of the vertebrates like limbs, legs, okay, all these parts. Then the third specialized tissue that we have is blood. So blood is a fluid connective tissue containing plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells and platelets. So as we can see here we have red blood cells, white blood cells and the platelets. Then it helps in the transportation of various substances between the organs. So as we know, blood helps us to transport various substances between the organs. Then the third type of tissue that we have is a muscle tissue. Now each muscle tissue is made up of long cylindrical fibers arranged parallel to each other. The fibers are composed of fine fibrils and myofibrils. The muscle fibers contract and relax in response to the stimulation. So as we can see here in these diagrams, these are all the different type of muscle tissues. So as we can see, these are all cylindrical type of cells and they are arranged parallel to each other. So let us see the different types of muscle tissue. The first one that we have is skeletal tissue. So these are the skeletal tissue. Then we have the smooth tissue, and then the third type is cardiac tissue. So in skeletal tissue, they are also known as striated or voluntary tissues. So these are known as the striated tissue. As you can see, there are lines kind of on their surface, that is they are called as the striations. So because they have striations, they are called striated tissue or voluntary tissue. Voluntary tissue because these are the tissues that we can move at our will. So for example, we can move our hands and all. So that is because it is made up of the voluntary tissue. Then the second one we have is smooth tissue. So they are known as unstriated or the smooth tissue. So these are the unstriated or involuntary muscle tissue. So these we cannot control at our will. Then the third type is cardiac tissue. They are known as the heart muscles and they are also involuntary in nature. So these cardiac tissue make up the heart and they are also involuntary, that is we cannot move them at our will. Then the skeletal tissue is multinucleated with light and dark bands, that is the striations. They are attached with bones. Then they are fibrous and unbranched, cylindrical in shape. So as we can see here, these skeletal tissue are striated, they are unbranched and they are also arranged parallel to each other. Then in smooth tissue, they are uninucleate without the bands. So as we can see, they are uninucleate. There is only a single nucleus present. There are no bands or striations. So that is why they are called smooth tissues. Then they are present in vessels and esophagus. They are fibrous and unbranched spindle shape. So here also we can see they are also unbranched and they are spindle shape, meaning they are both ends are tapering. Then the cardiac tissue are uninucleated with faint light and dark bands. So these are also uninucleate, meaning having a single nucleus. Then they are present in the wall of the heart. They are fibrous and branched, cylindrical in shape. Then the last type of tissue that we have is neural tissue. Now the unit of neural system is a neuron, and neuroglial cell protects and supports the neuron. So the cells of neural tissues are called as neurons, and when neuron gets stimulated, electrical impulses are generated that travel along the plasma membrane. So this is the picture of a neuron. So this is the cell body with the nucleus. The nucleus is present here. This long portion is called as the axon. Then these branches like structure are known as the dendrites. So all the neurons are connected to each other. The dendrites of one neuron are in close vicinity to the axon of the other neuron. So the tissues are organized to form organs in which in turn associate to form organ system and multicellular organs. So all these tissues, they organize together to form the different types of organs, and all the organs associate to form organ system in the multicellular organisms. So this is all in the types of tissues. So we have learned the different animal tissues, epithelial tissues. Here we can see the diagram. So we have simple epithelium. The first one is the squamous epithelium. Then we have cuboidal epithelium, where the cells are in cube shaped, and then third we have the columnar epithelium. So the cells are in the shape of a column. Then these are the columnar epithelium bearing the cilia. So then we have also learnt about the glandular epithelium, the epithelial cells which contain the glands. So here we have the glandular epithelium. Then this is the many layered compound epithelium. So the compound epithelium which is there, it is multi-layered. Then next we have seen the connective tissue. So the first one was loose connective tissue. In this we have seen the areolar tissue, which consists of the fibroblast, macrophage and the mast cell. And then the second one was the adipose tissue, which was the fat storing tissue. Then other tissues that we saw were the dense connective tissue. So here we can see in this diagram the dense connective tissue. And then we have the cartilages. So the first one here is the cartilage tissue. Then this is the bone, and these are the blood cells. Okay, this we have seen. Then we have the muscle tissue. So the first one is skeletal. Then we have the smooth muscle tissue and the cardiac muscle tissue. And this is the neural tissue, that is a neuron with the neuroglia. So this protects the neuron. So this is all for today's class. We will continue this chapter in the next video. So thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.